You cannot be family with those who are committed to misunderstanding you, who are committed to misunderstanding or downplaying your experiences. You cannot be family with those who do not honor your emotions. You cannot be true family with those who are not willing to see you for exactly as you are, and who are committed to seeing you through the lens of not only their own trauma, but their own projections and the ways in which they want to feel about you that are not favorable or aren't a true reflection of who you are. You cannot be in a relationship with somebody who wants to be you, who wants your light, who is in competition with you. You cannot do it. You cannot be in a relationship or family with those who are committed to trying to destroy you because they cannot understand you, they don't want to understand you, or you are the mirror to what they refuse to work on. You cannot be any of those things to those types of people, especially if you have committed yourself to understanding yourself at the deepest level, understanding other people at the deepest level, healing at the deepest level that you possibly can, because healing will always look like, how do I say this? Healing will always look like destruction when chaos feels like home. That's the best way I can put it right now. And what I'm learning is that is okay. That is okay, because I am not going to force myself to be around people who do not honor me. I'm not going to force myself to be around people who refuse to see me. I'm not going to force myself to be around people who want to project their unhealed issues onto me. I'm not going to be around people who are not self-aware of their own issues and their own traumas so that they know not to bleed onto me. I'm not going to be around those who choose to make me the target and the reason for all of their problems, because self-reflection is just not something that is even thought of. It's not a skill that they acquired in life. I'm not going to be around people that think that their age equals wisdom and that I have nothing to offer to the table because of my age, when you have no idea what the fuck I've been through. And people like that are not even emotionally mature enough to even sit down and have a conversation with me. As someone who works with children, you can learn a lot from a child. You can learn a lot from a child. There's a reason why we are taught, at least some of us are taught, that in order for you to reach God, you have to go back to as you were when you were a child. Whimsical. Sometimes a teacher, always a student. Being open to certain perspectives and ways of life. Giving yourself the freedom to choose which ones align with you and not what you've been taught to believe. All that stuff, I feel, encompasses a child, and still having that happiness and wonder and just being full of life and being ready for your opinions to change, being ready for yourself to change. You know, what your views might be on one subject when you were 13 may not be the views that you have when you're 23. However, both are completely valid. I can't tell you how many times that I have looked into a journal and my younger self helped me through some shit. And it's like, how can people, it's their ego. I know how people can, it's their ego, but I just don't understand how, first of all, wisdom is equated to age, because I know a lot of people who have been on this earth for a long time and have gained no wisdom. It's nothing up there, okay? Nothing but air and ego is up there. Some people have not made it past their childhood traumas. Some people have mentally stopped aging around 15, 16, if they're fucking lucky. Because shit, I know people who are even lower than that on the age scale, but are pushing 50, 60. Like, and because of that, people like me do intimidate people like them. Whether they're the same age as me, whether they're a little bit older than me, When people can see that you are very sure of yourself, you will intimidate people. And when people feel intimidated, they are liable to do and treat you in a lot of different ways that are completely not your fault. Because like I said, you become a reminder of what they refuse to heal. You become a reminder of who they actually are and the ways in which they failed themselves, their parents failed them, what have you, and the stuff that they refuse to do the hard work and unpack. So when people are intimidated by you, sometimes it's just the aura. Like, I intimidate people just by my aura. And honestly, I've just learned to not give a fuck. I've tried being the people pleaser, to be like, see, I'm not scary, I'm not intimidating. It didn't matter how much I smile. It doesn't matter how much I was a yes man. It didn't matter. It did not matter. When you are dedicated to becoming the best version of yourself, especially when you dedicate yourself to that at such a young age, like I have, and how so many others have, because I'm not alone. Even though it does feel like a lonely journey sometimes, I'm not alone. You will find people who are naturally intimidated by your light because you have chosen to shine yours when they have been taught and it has been beaten into them that they need to dim theirs. How dare you dim your light so bravely when I was taught I had to dim mine? What makes your light so special and my light not special that you feel like you can just shine all over the place when I was taught that I needed to bury mine? Whole time, oh bitch, I can't tell you how many people have tried to bury the light in my spirit. People have no idea how hard it is to be yourself when, unfortunately, the environments that you grew up in did not nurture that light properly or at all. Did not see that light as something that was good. It was seen as a threat. It's really hard to be sure of yourself and who you are and choose to say, fuck it, I'm gonna be myself anyway, when you're around people like that, when you're around people who refuse to heal and who just who choose to put everything outwardly and not do any work internally. I don't really know why I made this video. All I know is I come on here, I rant, I drop gems, I leave. I went to hang out with a friend yesterday, and she reminded me of a person that I used to dream about all the time, where they never had a face, they never had a name, but it was just the way that they treated me. Like, she reminds me of my significant other, in which he's so supportive. He's so mentally, emotionally, he's been physically supportive back when I was like really, really sick. I mean, like he literally bathed me, like like he took care. Like, I've never experienced like that amount of like love. Drive 9 hours to see me. And with this person, my friend, she gives me that same feeling in a very platonic way that I've never had, in a way that is like, oh, this is what family is supposed to feel like. Like, I don't feel judged. I don't have to hide any parts. I don't have to hide any parts of myself with her. And it's such a blessing. And I won't lie, when I got done hanging out with her, I was so happy, but I was so pissed. I was like, bro, look at everything that I've been deprived of simply because of the situations that I was born in and because of what I didn't know was out there for me. You know? Like, it was so healing for my inner child just to hang out with her for a few hours. Like, she even paid for like my stuff when we went shopping, and I didn't ask her to. And I was just like, you would do that for me? Like I never had a real friend. And I know this is the era, and I was told that this would be the era where I find out what it truly means to have a chosen family. I find out what it feels like to have people feel like home for the first time, discovering what home feels like for the first time. To not be competition, to not be seen as someone who is intimidating, to meet someone who is on the same journey as you. Therefore, it's no type of like animosity, hidden animosity or beef or gossip behind people's backs. It's just love, bro. And I feel like everybody deserves to be raised in love, but some of us were raised off of spiritual warfare and survival, because people trying to dim your light in the ways in which I talked about, which everything I talked about I've lived through. That is spiritual warfare. It does do something to your mind, your soul, your body, your spirit. It does. And I know it does because when I came back from hanging out with my friend, I was singing, I was happy. I felt so free internally that I felt the need to just create. I was writing songs. I danced a little bit. I just felt free. And the last time I felt like that was when I went to Costa Rica, and my whole journey to Costa Rica was based off of me wanting to open my heart space. And I met so many amazing people, so many amazing friends. It was that same type of energy. And it felt like I had met people, a part of my chosen family in Costa Rica. And I know the person that I'm currently talking about, that's my friend, is a part of my chosen family as well. And just being able to build that for myself and rediscovering what it means to have certain relationships be in place. It's like, okay, this is what you grew up on. This is what you were used to. This is what you were surrounded by your entire life. Let us show you, us meaning my elevated ancestors of my greatest and highest good, who work for the Most High on my behalf, my spirit team full of ascended masters and archangels who guide me and who protect me and who have kept me on the path that I know I'm supposed to be on of my greatest and highest good, and also work for the Most High. They're like, this is your season where you finally feel what you've been missing out on, what you've always deserved. This is the time where and I get it now. My inner child, I've been having a lot of dreams about like childhood healing and a lot of childhood memories, and a lot of people from my childhood has been popping up in my dreams to the point where I would just wake up at weird hours of the night because I just didn't want to go back to sleep because I didn't want to be around them. My childhood was not the best. I don't miss a lot of people from my childhood as far as friends are concerned. Like, we have a totally different mindset. We're on totally different paths. But they just kept popping up in my dreams, and I'm just like, I don't want to be here. I feel uncomfortable. So I would stop going to sleep like mad early. I would wake up at 5 a.m. and just be like, okay, this is it, because I'm not going back to sleep. This shit ass. And now I know why. They were trying to let me know that all of these wounds that were brought up in these dreams were going to be healed in my physical reality through the relationships that I gain from this point forward. Because I am meant to have people in my life who genuinely clap for me and who genuinely root for me and who genuinely want to see me do amazing things in this life, who aren't in competition with me, who don't see me as a reflection of them that they would have been had they not did X, Y, and Z, who don't see me as someone to be jealous of. Just pure, genuine love. And that's all I've wanted, but I've settled because that's what I was raised on. I settled because it seemed like that would be the only thing that I would ever be able to get. It didn't matter what it was. Church, school, neighborhood friends. I just always felt like an outcast, or like I wasn't around people who truly wanted to make me feel like I belonged. Like they wanted to make me feel like the oddball out. Because I was always so sure of myself, and it just seemed like my entire life people just wanted to make me feel unsure of myself, because my surety and their lack of it made them feel some type of way about themselves, but they just projected it onto me. It was always projected onto me. And this is the season where I've done so much internal work that the internal work that I've been doing has no choice but to reflect the physical. And it did take a lot of work for me to learn how to be a friend to people, slowly but surely, because when you grow up not really having a lot, or especially during the pandemic, like that was hard. I moved during the pandemic and not really knowing how to start from scratch, that was hard. Like I did have to learn little by little how to show up as a friend, how to be genuinely supportive as a friend, how to communicate with friends from a place of love, because that's not the tools that I was given. I had to learn a lot of stuff on my own. And you never truly like heal fully. That's not a thing. But I do feel like this is a season where I'm being rewarded with what I've always deserved. So, yeah. Hopefully you got something from this video. Love you guys.